Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. My name's Humna and I create content connected to art, healing and spirituality. Today I wanted to talk to you about what it is that we have within our human body. Now the reason I say human body is what I've understood from my reading and getting into the unknown and the known and all that sort of jazz. I've come to understand that if this is our body, inside the body is the soul. The soul is that what was way before the body came into being. So the being that we are is this part. And this is just the vessel that holds this being. Now imagine this is the clay body and this is the light of God that you and I all have within us, right? Most of us have been obsessively connected to the body and we've forgotten this soul being that we have inside us. Now, when we understand our experience here is human, which is the body, so this is what has been our focus. But the human is also a being, which is the soul. Now, this is the mind and this is the heart. Most of us live through life disconnected at this point. The mind says something and the heart says something. So, when the body and the soul are in alignment, is when we are connected to the universal energy from the unseen to the seen. Now that's the journey of the soul. Depending how your vessel is created, how dense it is, how much light it can carry, is the amount of your soul evolution that will happen in this lifetime for you. Not everybody is capable of holding a lot of light. So you only hold the amount of light that your physical body is able to. And you're willing to expand this physical body, not meaning like expand in weight, but expand in your consciousness. As your mind expands, your soul from the inside starts growing outwards. Most of the time, people live their life based on what is outside. Their desires are based on what they see other people have: a good car, a good home, a good wife, a good life, whatever it is, but it's outside of them. Now, these are all the things that you've been told and taught to desire. But there are soul desires within you that get unsatisfied. So you could have everything: money, status, fame, love, clothes, dogs, cats, children, everything. You could have everything. You could have the best food laid out on your table and yet be still hungry for something. You could be surrounded by 1 billion people in your life, but yet feel and crave connection. And that is because you've been always so focused on the outside. But then there's a time when your soul awakens, and this could happen through some major loss in your life, something that shifts you to break these ties from the outside, and the journey of inside starts happening. So you start asking yourself questions like, who am I? What have I been learning? What have I been doing? And sometimes these questions can be very overwhelming. So people don't go through and through the whole journey, and they just ask a couple of questions, find the answers, and then get on with their life and start living in the physical world as they did. Now, there are some people who journey within directly to this light that is inside here, so that when they connect to this inside, rather than living from the outside in, they start living from the inside out. So it's not what the world tells them that they need to do, it's the soul that guides them what they came here to be. Now, the mind will always ask you to do. The soul already knows whatever it is that it needs, it just is. Right? There's no need at all because the soul is complete. The body always confuses you. What should I do? How should I go? Where should I be? What do I need to do? All that sort of stuff. Whereas the soul, when you channel into your soul, you know that you have the capability in your soul to attract everything that you want in life. So there's no confusion, there's no doubt, there's no nothing. For your soul is actually connected to the higher realms, to the God, right? So that what is connected with God is abundant in all forms and way. That what is connected to not God, let's just say earth, for example, is always going to be in confusion because they'll always keep looking for what path to take, what path not to take. But when you're connected with God, meaning your soul, with your heart, you automatically get the guidance to what you need because God says He is light, and light will always show you the path. Earth is dense, it's dark, right? It's always going to make you feel confused about your decisions, about your life. You'll question a billion things. Whereas the soul will say, this is what you were meant to experience. And so you're just experiencing it. And it's a very, very beautiful surrender and submission that happens, that nothing could have happened to you which was not for you, right? So everything that happens in your life, all of these influences were placed so that you at one time would realize that none of these would satisfy you. And what would truly satisfy you is that what you are from the inside, which God created you. Not all of this that your parents, society, religion created you, but rather what God created you as. And the soul, as I said, comes from the heaven. So when you connect and start living from your soul, you always have God with you. When you have God with you, that is you being in heaven. You know, the Garden of Eden, like that's where you are. You're meant to be in the garden. Your normal state of being is actually walking through life knowing that you are connected to God always, always and always. And when you are connected to God within your heart, within your soul, you are connected to the heavens, meaning this unseen and the seen. And your soul is what guides you to do what you need to, rather what the world has told you to do. Now, this is really, really, really high level, conversation. Some people might get it, some people might not get it, and not everybody will be able to break these patterns that we have developed over time, right? Because the attachments with the world, with the earth, with the darkness, with the confusion is so tight. We're so used to comfort. We're so used to being a sheep that to become a wolf or an eagle or a lion, we don't even have the courage in us to say, some of us don't have the courage to say, I could be that. We can look at somebody who is, a lion living life through their soul space, but you just look at them and say, yeah, that's great. They can, but I can't. But the reality is, you have the same soul as I do. So if I can be authentic, I can be real, I can be a lion, so can you, right? And that's where we have to bring in this shift. Nobody's better than anybody, because that's what the human, the body, the mind thinks when it judges each other. But you look fat, I look thin, I look pretty, you don't look pretty. All of that is like just an illusion. The truth is, the only truth that there is your soul. For the soul comes way beyond your body existed. Now, having said that, it's so important to understand what your soul has in it. Now, when Allah created us, what the thing that He put in us, so this is, let me just do two bodies, right? So there is a body of a man and a body of a woman. So this is a man okay, gender, and this is a woman. So you can also say Adam and Eve, right? Now, when were they in heaven, in the presence of God? Okay, so inside Adam, inside man, there are two parts. Inside a woman, this is a soul I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the man and a woman, the gender vessel. I'm not talking about the body. I'm talking what is inside the body. Okay, so every man has a masculine energy and every woman has a masculine energy. Every man has a feminine energy and every woman has a feminine energy. Okay, now what happens is when we go through, when both of these energies are in equilibrium, this is when you are in heaven, for you are in God, for you understand your divinity, right? But what happens is, on a scale, sometimes these energies go high and they go low. The whole game of being a human being is to balance the two. It's to balance the duality to make it one. When you are one, when you are in balance of both these energies, it is that moment where you are connected to the universe, meaning the energy of the trees, the energy of the birds, the energy of the earth, the energy of the air, fire, water, all of that. You become one. So you reach a center point and you're not a masculine or a feminine, then you become one being. Now, how do you do that? I just want to explain. So generally women have very high feminine energy, okay, and then their masculine energy is actually lowered by the society, okay. And then in men, like the man vessel, the Adam's vessel, is their feminine energy is low and their masculine energy is high. They become macho, they become controlling, they are manipulative. So masculine energy, when it is not when it is wounded, when wounded meaning when it's really really high, like upwards, when it is not in balance. So let's make the arrow a little higher, right? So it goes that way, and this is going way low. So they're feminine, they're not connected to their emotions, they are not expressive, they don't know how to say what they feel, the throat chakra is blocked and all that. Now, talking about the chakras, now imagine our backbone, like our body stands straight in because of our vertebra, right? So vertebra, the backbone helps us to be in place. Like that's our skeleton, the structure that holds the body, the muscular side of the body, and it makes us stand straight. In the same way, the soul has a backbone, and that backbone has seven chakras. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 1, 2, I've just made this one 3, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't go by the distance between them, please. It's just that's just happened to explain. So anyway, now I'm just going to give you a clarity of the female, the woman. Inside the woman, we have been told that we are wounded in the way our feminine energy goes beyond the balance point. This is the balance point, right? And our masculine energy is lowered, making us feel that we have to be always dependent on a man. You have to marry because on your own you're nothing. So your masculine energy is suppressed. You're not capable of doing things on your own. You're constantly people pleasing, you have low self-worth, you feel powerless in yourself. That's when your feminine energy is like not in a balanced place. And the masculine energy, when it is wounded, it is all about controlling, it is manipulative, it is constantly overthinking, and it is like my way or the highway. That's this part, right? That is this part. And then they're constantly overthinking, how do I make things better, what do I do, how do I do, blah 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 blah, right? We have to come to the Garden of Eden. You have to come into this place, balance, right? Now, most men are not connected to their emotions because they've been told that that's man up, right? And most women are disconnected to their freedom. They have a choice, they can stand up for themselves, right? So most women are disconnected from their mind, and most men are disconnected from their hearts. Now the battle starts happening is when we start living in this imbalance. We start attracting people who are just like us, and after a while we start repelling them because there's an imbalance within us. So the only way to heal ourselves is to channel into this understanding of what the masculine energy is and what the feminine energy is. When we understand how the divine creator wanted the divine masculine energy to be and how the feminine energy needs to be, it is in those moments we bring that balance. We bring the balance and the arrows come down, right? So we come into an equilibrium space. And it's not the wounded masculine and feminine, it is the divine masculine and feminine. And that's the whole journey of the soul, to come into this space where your masculine and your feminine in a man and a woman are all in balance, like you're here. This is where you need to be. Now, I'll just tell you quickly what that means. What is a divine masculine and what is a divine feminine? Okay, so the divine masculine has traits that are, let me just write this. So this is divine masculine and this is divine feminine. Okay, here we are. So inside your soul, this is what you need to cultivate. Divine masculines are very decisive, they are very clear, they're like the sun, they rise. Okay, and the divine feminine, on the other hand, is extremely creative. She has the womb inside her, right? The energy of a feminine energy is all about finding new ways, creating life, understanding that they have the energy within, that they can do anything, right? Feminine energy within all of us is absolutely creative, right? And the masculine energy is very clear. This is what I want to do. This is what I see my life being. They're very, very clear. Then we get into the masculine energy. They are very focused on structure. They came here as architects, right? They came here to, now think of Hazrat Noah alayhi salam. He was the one who created the boat without even knowing what he was doing. He just continued doing it for 950 years. He was alive, and in that lifetime, he was creating something that he had no knowledge of. He didn't go to school to learn how to create that boat, right? He did it out of complete clear knowledge of his feminine energy, which was creative, because he was in balance. His masculine and his feminine was creative. It was in balance. So the prophets, most of the prophets and people who do things, connected to the unseen world and deliver them in the seen world, are people who have, I would call them, they are in the Garden of Eden, right? They're in their balanced state. They walk the earth with the God holding their hands and recognizing that nothing and no one has any power over them but the one that created them. So he was very clear about what he was needing to create in this world, and he was very decisive about what he came here to do, regardless of what people said or not said, if people agreed to him or not agreed. It didn't really matter, for he knew that's what he came here to do. He was building the boat, he was clear about it, and then he followed the structure. There's a certain structure the masculine energy goes, and they are extremely supportive. Masculine energy is really good at listening. So within you, if you're the kind of woman or a man who just talk, don't support people, you're always looking for mistakes, then that's where your masculine energy is not is wounded. Divine masculine energy is extremely supportive, which means they are extremely good at listening, right? And then they are really present. They don't judge you. No judging of the past, no judging of the future, no judging anybody. They are very, very present. Then they have a purpose. The masculine, the divine masculine energy within us has understands that nothing could exist just because. They always have a clear purpose. I'm here to do this. This is what I need to do, and this is what I'm going to do. It's a very beautiful, action oriented, like a sun. I keep saying the sun. I'm about to write it down here. So, Sunday, sorry. Oops. Which is really far away right now. But anyway, let me just remove this, right? Okay, so, and they understand of purpose, and they are extremely aware of their weaknesses and their strengths. So they know what they are capable of and what they are not capable of, right? So they don't try to dilly-dally things. They just go for what they want, and they choose all of this. So this is the masculine energy within you and me. So regardless of you being a boy or a girl, you have this inside you. Your masculine energy is always clear about what it wants. It uses structure to develop a certain rhythm, a certain understanding of how it needs to do things. It is extremely supportive, meaning that you sit with yourself and you listen to you, and you don't need other people outside of you to go and talk to somebody on the phone, or do whatever you need to, like talk to friends. They're very good being home. The masculine energy is very good at just being home, at being present, for they understand that their purpose is not to constantly go satisfying other people. They are very clear that why they exist, and that's what they follow, and they don't let things come in their way, and they're very aware of their weaknesses and their strengths. When we look at the divine feminine energy within all of us, it's extremely creative, because it came here to share compassion. It's loving, it's soft, it's gentle, it's subtle, it's so nurturing, it's full of compassion. And the feminine energy is connected to the higher realms. So imagine this is God, right? This area is God. And the feminine energy is connected, the feminine energy, not females, guys, please be very clear. Feminine energy within every being is connected to God. And this is the masculine energy, which is connected to the earth. So this is all based on action, and this is all based on just being. So this is becoming, and this is being. Excuse my writing. But anyway, so the divine feminine energy within us is all about compassion. It's very intuitive because it's connected to God. It's connected to the unseen world. It has these inner whispers that it's able to hear. When you tune into your feminine energy, the feminine energy is the most beautifully clear, intuitive guidance that you will ever be able to hear. And for this, you have to have your masculine energy in the listening side. You have to listen to your intuition so that you can support yourself. And the feminine energy is all about expression. It's very expressive. It's very vulnerable. It's okay being itself. It'll cry in front of you. It'll laugh in front of you. It will just, if the masculine energy within you is present, it will allow you to express safely. And you can only express safely when you feel safe, right? So it's very important for the feminine energy to understand that it can express itself, because the masculine energy within you is not judging it at all. So she opens up, the feminine energy just opens up and merges into one, because the masculine energy is all ready to receive all the expression of the feminine. And then it's connected with love. Now, feminine energy is all about connection. It's all about connection to love. and it is always focusing on flow. Flow means it's very forgiving. It's very, it just has that within us, we all have this flow state, right? And the flow state is when your feminine energy is settled. It's okay in the now, in the surrender. Now, both of these, your masculine energy and your feminine energy, when it is in this state, it is in the Garden of Eden, it is walking with God, because your this part is connected to your this part, and when the merging of this happens, you become one. So imagine this is the yin and the yang, right? The yin and the yang. Sorry, excuse my hand drawing, but this is what I'm just trying to explain to you. So if this is your dark side, then this is your light side. Let me do it with the yellow color so you can see. So this, you become one. Oh, I need a bigger brush. Let's go with this one. So you become one when you own both of these things. Your soul is one, right? And it has two sides. One is the dark side and one is the light side. Sorry. This is my OCD kicking in, even though look at how, but this is how what makes sense to my head. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else's or not, but this is how I gain clarity in understanding. So this is my soul body, and this is my dark body. This is my masculine, right? So my masculine is my darkness, which comes here from my mind. Now, don't get too personal about, oh, is she calling masculine dark or feminine light? That's just, don't get into that whole drama of your silly brain. Just try to focus on what I'm trying to say here and not like what you're really. Now, there you go. You see? So when you understand the yin and the yang, the qualities of the yin and the yang that you're meant to develop, then you are able to be in the, now this is really funny, okay? This is me in the garden of Eden, of heaven. You are in heaven, right? So on earth, you live life through you live life being connected to God. You live life knowing that there is a higher power that's holding your hand. You live life understanding that you came here to live through your soul. Your soul has all the answers. You become the healer that you came here to be. All of us have the capability and the capacity to become a healer for ourselves, and that's the journey we need to understand. We have to stop looking outside of us, and when we connect to our inside soul and bring the soul in balance, we automatically are able to reach a space of heaven. Now, what we need to really focus on is the masculine energy and the feminine energy, and ask ourselves, which part of me is wounded? Which part of me needs more attention? Which part of me needs more nurturing? And then you work with that part and you help yourself to rise up. I'll share another video which connects to the chakras of the of the masculine and the feminine energy, where you can understand how the chakras have an effect and how the energy within us needs to flow, and the whole kundalini has to be awakened, but that's for another day. Today I just wanted to share this bit for you to have some clarity, to understand the masculine, the divine masculine energy that the God created and put in you, and the feminine energy that God created and put in you. When you see yourself as that what He wants you to be, you automatically rise your vibration to understand you're not here by chance. You're here because you're meant to be. And the way we know that we are meant to be here is because we exist. That's simple, right? But I hope this reaches you and gives you some kind of understanding. If it does, leave me a comment, connect with me. All my details are down below. You can book me for a one-to-one session, or like I said, journey to your own self through my art sessions, which are all available on Patreon. I do live sessions on Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time. If that's something that you'd like to join me in, you're most welcome to. And yeah, connect with me. I'm sending you lots of love, light, and peace, everyone. Enjoy yourselves and know that you are loved just the way you are. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.